Well, it's time to begin, binary and non-binary people. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Felicia.
And this is You're Just Like Me.
You're just like me.
I'm just like you.
You're just like me.
You're just like me. Our Barbie fan cast. Our Barbie movie review of all the Barbie animated movies, starting with Barbie in the Nutcracker, which is what we both just watched over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Felicia, tell me how you feel.
Okay, I don't even know where to start.
Let's start with the plot. What'd you think of it?
Okay, well, one thing I do want to talk about is I feel like it was very ambitious for their first movie ever to be like a dancing, like...
Mm-hmm. Especially with the like quality of the animation.
I really don't know why they went with like doing a ballet animation. It was a little rough sometimes.
It was chunky. You want to know what I scored the art/animation?
Oh no, I'm scared.
I gave it a -9 out of 10.
You actually did?
Yeah, and I subtracted points from my final score because of that.
It really was. Wait,
it was that bad.
I'm going to. I do think the plot was obviously like based on the
actual ballet,
the ballet, and whatever came before that.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I can't like fault it too much because that's probably how the ballet was. Because in like the musicals and opera type stuff, they like really have a light plot and then they just like insert a bunch of dancing and singing numbers or whatever.
Yeah, I went with a 7 out of 10.
Just wait, but how are we gonna do ratings?
Okay, here's what I was thinking.
Okay.
We each give, so we have 5 categories: plot, character, art/animation, dialogue, and romance, because romance is one of the key factors of Barbie movies. Yes. And so I figure we each give one of those a rating, and then the overall rating will be our 2 scores added together, so it'll be that out of 100.
Okay.
And so we can turn that into like, I don't know, like
if a percent or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like 78 out of 100, then it would be 7.8 stars out of 10.
Okay, well, because like what always kind of bothered me about reviews is people are always like afraid to go below like even like a 6 probably, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like I would say like 1 is like horrible, but like 2 is bad, but like 3 probably is like mediocre.
Yeah.
And then like, so like I would almost say that the plot was probably like a 4.
Yeah, that's probably closer to correct. I just gave it a 7 because I felt bad for giving the animation such like an awful score. I was just so upset.
I think it's so funny that you gave the animation a negative score, but that does make me think of another thing I wrote down, which was during the scenes where she came out of the cave or whatever, and then the background was 2D.
Yes. Oh my god, that was the worst. Literally, when they got trapped in the castle, I like when like there was like the fake castle that they got, and then they got like the trap sprung on them by like the gross bat who I can't remember the name of, even though I just watched it yesterday.
I don't remember his name either.
No one cares what his name is. And it looked so garbage, and like I just thought that was the movie. Like it looked 2D, and I was like, oh wow, they just really didn't try for this part.
They really didn't try for the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a fake castle, so you couldn't even tell the difference.
Anyways, should we give a brief review of the plot?
Oh, I mean, I should have written stuff down, but we can try to go through it.
Okay.
Wait, but also, I didn't even remember this, but actually it is another Barbie telling Kelly a life lesson. And I didn't even remember that at all.
It was just crazy because it was like a story within a story within a story is what it felt like. Because the thing is like...
Yeah, the Nutcracker's originally in her dream, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's already a story within a story, but then Barbie's telling her the story.
Yeah, Barbie's telling Kelly the story of a dream a girl had one time.
Yeah.
And then oh, okay. Wait. So Kelly's bad at dancing. Tragic. And so to help her with her dancing, Barbie decides that she's going to tell her a story, which is exactly how you handle all issues of dancing. I know this as a person taking a dance class right now. I'm taking country line dance, so that I can go to Western Wednesdays at the Peacock and absolutely fail in front of all the country boys with their beautiful cowboy hats and very clacky boots. Anyways, so in the story, Clara, our hero, her parents died when she was young. She has a younger brother also. And it's Christmas time, and they live with their grandfather now, and her aunt comes back from a trip in Asia, and she's in love with her aunt, and her aunt is my favorite character.
Yeah.
That's how little I liked all other characters.
I wrote, actually, that's good that you brought it up, because I wrote under fave characters, I said Elizabeth was one of my favorites.
Yep. I liked Elizabeth.
She was really cool.
She was so cool. She was a chill
and like
girl.
She lives with her grandfather, right?
Yeah.
And her grandfather was all like, "Oh, you're a lady and you can't do anything fun.
Yeah.
You can't travel." Well, I don't know. What was he saying? What did he want her to do?
I literally don't remember. It was just he didn't want her to do anything.
Yeah.
He was just like, "Hey, you're gonna break." Anyways, so she gets the nutcracker from her aunt, and then as
her brother's like, "Ew, gross."
Yeah. Well, and her brother like wants him to lead his army of toy soldiers, and so they're like fighting over him, and then he accidentally breaks his arm off, and then she like mends him, and then she falls asleep on the couch, and then when the clock strikes midnight, like all like the things come to life, and the mice are having like a crazy rager, and the nutcracker is like, what does he say? He's like, he says something crazy and then, like, jumps off the couch with his sword drawn at the mice.
I don't even know what he
It's
said.
something like unguard mice or, like, something along those lines. And it was like, ooh.
And then,
woof.
he fought a bunch of mice. And then, but during the fight, the Mouse King shrunk. What's her name? Clara? Yeah.
Because, like, she was standing over him with a pot and
Yeah.
then didn't drop it as she started to be threatening, which was, like... Girl, like...
Yeah, she just stood there while the spell was being cast.
You know, me too. Sometimes I'm just into a wild, fancy spell. And they fight the Mouse King and all that jazz. What happens next? They, the owl.
She's like, oh my gosh, I need to be...
Big again.
Big again, yeah. So she's like, what do I do? And then he's
like, the sugar
tells her
plum...
about some myth or something, right?
Yeah, the sugar plum fairy.
She needs to see the sugar plum fairy, which this part made me feel like the story is very Wizard of Oz kind of, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
and then the owl's like, oh, go across the sea of something and you can find her.
Sea of Troubles or...
Something like that.
Infinite
and then they
storms.
embark on their journey.
Yeah. And the owl gives her a locket that will magically take her back when she's found the princess.
Shoes and
yeah, exactly. It's
the Wizard of Oz.
I think they just combined Wizard of Oz and the Nutcracker because I kind of remember seeing the Nutcracker when I was little, and I'm pretty sure
wasn't in it.
There's no talking. Also, it's like one thing. Like it's all dancing and like, so like the plot is very light, but it's also pretty much all about her, like dream and then the Nutcracker and then going with them and stuff. And I think the Nutcracker becomes a real boy in that one also, but I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember what happens after that. Because, like, I know she travels for a while and then, like, she meets the squad of guys.
Yeah, she meets the little kid and the horse. Oh, the horse's name is Marzipan, which drives me insane.
Why?
Like, I don't know. I just hate that as a horse name.
Oh, yeah, the horse was, like, purple, right?
Yeah, the horse was purple.
Which is a choice, but...
and then comes my favorite scene, which I wrote down for my fave moment.
Okay.
Which is, so they're, like, the mice find them and are, like, trying to grab them, and they run away with the kids that they find with Marzipan. And, the Rat King, like... Is he a Rat King or a Mouse King?
He's a Mouse King.
Mouse King. They go back and they report that they, like... let them get away to the Mouse King, and also there's been this like bat that's been spying on them who has a truly awful voice, like true garbage, but he's like, so instead of capturing them, you've come here to me, and like something like that. And then, so he's, like, asking what he should turn them into, and, like, him and the bat have this whole back and forth of, like, how are we doing on statues? And it's, like, stocked up, and then, like, lawn ornaments, and, like, something else. And then it finally gets to, like, there are two of them. Why don't you make bookends? And I just love that everything that he turns, like, people who annoy him into are, like, stone carving based. I don't know. I just thought that was... ridiculous. It was like, I don't know, I really enjoyed the Mouse King just because, like, he definitely wasn't a favorite character, but, like, it felt like the writers actually tried to have fun with that one, so.
That kind of reminded me of, like, Medusa, right? With the stone, like.
Yeah, that too.
But in one of the other Barbie movies, I swear, like, the villain freezes everyone too. I don't know if they're, like, stone, though, or something else, but.
Yeah.
Oh, but my favorite line already passed, but it was the when the owl was talking to the Nutcracker and what's her name? Clara?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, like, travel over the sea of trouble or whatever. And then the Nutcracker's like, but that's impossible. And then the owl goes, dangerous but not impossible. And then the Nutcracker literally like just starts walking away.
Yeah.
And then she's like, where are you going? And he's like, oh, do you want to come along? And I'm like, he didn't even like ask for any follow-up questions about where the Sea of Trouble is, what it is.
Yeah.
And he just like left without even telling her.
Yeah. He was like, dangerous but not impossible. Alrighty, I guess dangerous but not impossible. He wasn't
even
my
like,
middle
bye,
name.
okay, I guess I'm gonna go. Like, he just started walking away. I just thought, I burst out laughing when that happened because I just thought it was so stupid.
Oh, and my favorite line is right after the scene we were talking about. This was, so the animation was worse than I remembered, for sure. Like, I was watching and I was like, whoa, this passed as like, I guess when you're a kid, you have a lot more imagination, though, so you just kind of, like, fill in the blanks that are there.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I swear, like, if I thought back to it, I'd be like, oh, it has super clean, like, super good animation, like, literally as good as, like, the newest Disney movie. Like, that's how I pictured it.
Yeah, same. So anyways, animation was worse than I remembered. But the crazy rock monster was just as terrifying as I remembered, but for different reasons this time. Just like, oh my god, it looks awful, it's terrifying. But as a child, it was like, a rock monster, you know? Anyways, but, so Mouse King is like, I can't rely on mice to do what I need them to. So why don't I just send a pile of rocks and, like, create a stone, what are they called in Zelda?
Oh.
The, like...
Yeah. What are they called?
It starts with a T.
Oh, does it?
I think so. Torlus? Tullus? I don't know. So he creates this stone monster to go after Clara and the Nutcracker and the two guys that they met along the way, which I didn't mention, but it doesn't matter. It's Captain Candy
and the other one.
Yeah, Captain Candy and the other one. Major something.
Yeah.
Major Molasses.
Was that it?
No, I'm just...
It was probably a candy pun, though.
Yeah. So Captain Candy was Nutcracker's friend before he got turned into a Nutcracker.
Oh.
So really quickly, Clara and the Nutcracker are hanging out at night. This is before the scene with the stone dude getting turned into this, like, this where the pillars turned into stone via Mouse King magic. And she's like, you're Prince Eric, aren't you? And like, I'm like, girl, they just took all the fun suspense out of the like kiss and turn into a magical prince scene. Yeah. Like, why they do that? Come on, little kids can either figure it out or be surprised. And
but that's what I thought was so funny though, is he was like so obvious that he was Prince Eric. He was like every time Prince Eric came up, he'd be all like moody and like weird, and he'd be all like, oh, Prince Eric used to do, and I'm like, it's like basically like he wants people to know he's Prince Eric, so he's like trying to get attention from everyone. Yeah, it's like, Prince Eric sucks, and he's like, he was trying his best. Like, okay, Prince Eric, yeah, I sure think he does. Anyways, so from now I'm just gonna call the Nutcracker Prince Eric because it's just better. I guess that was a big reveal. Wait, it wasn't Prince Eric. What happened to the king? The kingdom was taken over by the Mouse King, right? Yeah, because Prince Eric's dad died.